Larry Nicholls earned recognition as a baseball player through versatility as a pitcher, a catcher, a first baseman, starting his career in Portage, Manitoba. Larry, how old were you when you got started into baseball?
Well, I know that 12 years old I was involved in it because we won the Little League Championship of Manitoba in 19. So then that was 12 and under. And I knew I was not 12 as I was 11. So I must have been playing a couple of years before that. I was born in 44, so by 52, 53, I probably started playing baseball.
So you were involved for a lot of your life, really, huh?
A lot of years.
Did you advance up through minor baseball ranks in Portage?
Basically, yes. I went from, I forget what they called them then, it was Pee-wee, and then Bantam, and then Midget, and then Pony League.
Pony League.
And then I went away to Teachers College in 61, and my first year of teaching, I went up to Minnetonka, and they had no baseball up there, so I played fastball.
Wonderful. Your induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame is as a builder. Now, what do you consider your major accomplishment was in promoting the sport of baseball?
As far as builder is concerned, well, there are several. Number one is I like that I did help name the Santa Clara Baseball Leagues, which is still in existence today. It was Stan Olson and I that decided, because we were in a league called the South Central League, and there was already a South Central League affiliated with baseball, Manitoba. So we had a chance, came up with a SC name, so we came up with Santa Clara. And then the rest of the thing with builders, I think my biggest is when I became an umpire in the last part of my career, not as a ball player, but as the last part of my umpiring career, that I created a oversized plate for the kids called the Clarny plate, and it is used by all the Mosquito and Pee Wee leagues in Manitoba. And then this other thing about as far as building as an umpire is I started the mentorship program where senior umpires would take on a younger one and help him through
and be a mentor.
Be a mentor to him or her. So
helping to organize that Santa Clara League, I know most people remember that, and having it associated with the Manitoba Baseball Association, that's another feather in your cap.
Yes, very much so. I'm quite happy with that. And the fact they're still going and growing is another good thing.
You had a period of coaching baseball.
Yes.
You also were involved in administration.
Yes.
As the president of the Killarney Minor Association, and that speaks to a degree of versatility for you, doesn't it?
True. I was fortunate enough to coach a Bantam team to the Western Canada Championship in 1986, and also the other thing that we liked to do in the early 80s in Killarney is we had access to 12 diamonds, and we would have a minor ball tournament every year, the last weekend in May, and we would get us anywhere from well, I know we had 50 teams most times, but we got as many as 60 teams other years to come in and play one day tournament ball and have it all over with.
Terrific.
So it took a lot of organizing.
To keep it rolling.
And I had a lot of good friends.
I betcha. Well, talking about feathers in your cap, you received the Volunteer of the Year Award from the Manitoba Baseball Association. That was in 1986, and that's another special.
That's all stems from that.
Yeah.
Those ball tournaments and the Western Canada Championship and everything else. And plus, when you talk about that, I also got a Lifetime Achievement Award from Baseball Canada.
Right, that's another plus for you.
Oh, that's a big plus. I mean, it was only the second time it was ever awarded, and I was fortunate enough to be in the right spot at the right time that they chose me.
You started umpiring senior baseball in 1976, and you were good enough in that respect to become the umpire-in-chief of the Manitoba Senior Baseball League. You have to have a pretty thick skin to be a good umpire, don't you? Yes or no?
Yes and no. You don't have to have a thick skin, you just don't let it bother you. I worked harder when people got on my back. And by working harder, I hopefully got them off. And I was known to snip back a few times. I'm not supposed to, but I did.
Did you call a wide plate or a...
Oh, yes, very much so. This Clarny plate that I've got,
it's pretty big stuff.
I have my protocopy in the trunk of my car, and they now manufacture it in somewhere, and they use it. It's just a throwdown plate.
There it is.
Yeah, so, and it copies my zone.
Okay.
You ask any of the ball players at MSBL or Senior AA, I was known for a big strike zone.
Big strike. The pitchers loved you, in other words.
Oh, yes.
You were an official at Western Canadian Championships, Nationals, twice at the Worlds. You were the supervisor at the 99 Pan Am Games for baseball. Those are major highlights for you, Larry.
Definitely. Those are some of the real highlights that once again, I was a recipient of those awards and placements and so on, but it took a lot of people, a lot of time to get me where I am today.
What did you do as a supervisor at the Pan Ams?
Well, we just had to make sure that all the members of each crew were all trying to work together, and even though it was hard, some of the people didn't speak English, and it was mostly Canadian and American crews who could speak English. We had 16 people, and probably 5 of them couldn't speak English. So we had to try and go through situations on the diamond with them before the game or after the game or whatever the case is, and they knew a few English words, enough to get by. And basically we were there to make sure the Canadian umpires didn't screw up.
Very good. Tell me now, at this stage of your life, are you still interested in baseball? Still have a keen interest in?
Yes, I'm still working. I don't go on the field anymore, but I am still a umpire instructor. I still supervise Westerns, Nationals, maybe not Nationals anymore, but Western Canada's provincial championships, and teach maybe 1 or 2 courses in the spring for young umpires.
How about
and plus some mentorship.
Very good. It's kind of satisfying, I'm sure, to look back, remembering your days on the diamond, and now you've been recognized as a Hall of Famer in your sport. That makes it kind of special, doesn't it?
Yes. I'll tell you what, if I didn't receive this, I still enjoyed my time and I still had fun at it. And when it stops being fun, I'm gone.
Larry Nicholls, now in the ranks of Manitoba's baseball legends, as a member of the Provincial Baseball Hall of Fame.